Good morning. Come in and have a little sip of coffee. Tennessee coffee beans. It's great to have you with us this morning. Thank you for tuning in. I have experienced God using painful offense, adversity, suffering to wake us up. Sometimes, you've said it, we need to be hit between two before to wake us up. To set me free from unbelief. I pray every single day, Lord, help my unbelief. I have faith, but I know I need more faith. And I know practical atheism is wrong. And I know unbelief can be a form of idolatry, maybe more than I want to admit. Idols are much more than little golden statues with fat bellies that you rub. Idols are much more than things that are carved out of wood that we bow down to. Anything that we build our lives upon, anything that we lean upon for meaning or identity can become an idol, and it can be family, reputation, it can be a number of things. And idolatry feeds on itself, robbing us of the joy that God intends for us to have, until we have no other choice but to cry out to God. And the beautiful thing about Scripture, the lovely thing about God is God's office. Are you listening? God's office is at the end of my rope. God has an office right at the very end of our rope. And the good news is, it's not hang in at all costs. The good news is, it's not grin and bear it. The good news is not, you better get stronger and you better shake yourself and you better get over it in the midst of hardship. The good news is that through the power of God, we can triumph over everything. We can triumph. Where is God when tragedy appears? Adversity, shipwreck, it's not the final thing. I know death and taxes are certainty, but it's all part of life. Death is a part of living. Death is inevitable. It's appointed unto man once to die. Hurricanes, back pain, depression, sadness, and we say, of course, oh, I'm doing well, everything's just wonderful. Truth is, people suffer more and more and more than they're ready to admit. And I think one of the biggest, hardest things in the world today is relationships. Relational suffering is just as universal and severe. Who hasn't felt misunderstood? Who hasn't felt like throwing up their hands and walking away? Why do people say this to me? Who hasn't been taken advantage of? Have you ever been insulted? Have you ever been cheated on? Have you ever been rejected? Have you ever had people stamp on you? And it can cause regret. And it can cause bitterness and resentment. You ever work with someone who seems like they were always out to get you? Not in church, of course, right? And at the end of the day, the issues are trivial. But the feelings aren't trivial. When a parent hurts his child, have you ever hurt your boy or your girl? Have you ever promised that you'd move heaven and earth to go to one of his games? because you were too busy at work, you couldn't show up. Wow. Divorce is painful at 35 years of age. Equality all around, painful. Aggressive comments from a co-worker in the office. Kids in the playground, they bully one another. You're stupid, you're ugly, you're fat, you're this, you're that, or the other. And it's not breaking news to say our culture has an aversion to suffering, regardless of how inescapable it may be. Who wants to suffer? Who wants to be called fatso? Who likes pain? I don't like pain. Who wants to be lonely, sitting by themselves today? Who likes to be misunderstood? You can't deny it. You can't get away from it. You can't turn your back on it. But we need to realize that God is with us, and God never leaves us, and God is constantly for us. And whenever we start to think about this health and wealth gospel, it runs into a brick wall whenever we see the theology of the cross. Jesus suffered, and he didn't deserve it. Jesus was taking every step of the way. He tried to do good. They misrepresented his motives. He was helping people. They condemned him. Every single where he went. And this idea that everything's going to work out great and everything's going to be just what, ultimately it will work out great and everything will be marvelous when Jesus comes back. But in the meantime, death is inevitable. Wasn't it Jesus who said, unless a grain of wheat fall into the ground and die, it remains alone. But if it dies, it bears much fruit. John 12, verse 24. Didn't the psalmist talk about, let the bones you have crushed rejoice? How do crushed bones rejoice? Psalm 51, verse 8. Crushed bones sounds awful, right? We want happiness. We want joy. We want peace and satisfaction. We want goodness. Nobody wants to talk about suffering and pain and anxiety and all the rest of it at the end of the day. God is not this heavenly sweetheart up there in the clouds somewhere. God knows what you've been through. And he shares with you. Remember Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? He was with them. Walked through the fire with them. Didn't walk them around it. Didn't turn away and say, let me give you a new direction. Let me tell you how to get out of this here. No. The young Christian who tries to cushion a painful breakup by saying, I guess God is leading me in a year of singleness or a season of singleness. It's rough when God breaks up with you. The loving parent who tells their children, all dogs go to heaven. We're trying to shelter them. We're trying to keep them from pain. He is the one who says to us, it's not all sunshine. Unforeseen pain, suffering, the economy, your job, your financial situation tanks, your child gets hurt, your water line breaks, whatever else happens, God is there to walk with you. He loves you. He wants you in heaven. He wants you strong. May God bless you. Have a wonderful, wonderful week and a great day.